Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to this new edition. Thank you to So Damn Local for yielding some airtime for the United States of Europe. I'm your host, Greg Shapiro. This is a special welcome to everyone out there from the Brits who happen to be living in France, the Spanish who might be working in Poland, the Greeks in anywhere but Greece, and internationals everywhere. If you have a European passport, like I do, Greg Shapiro, the American Netherlander, then you can vote on the 22nd of May in the Netherlands and anywhere from 22nd to 25th in different European countries, depending on where you are. See how it's impossibly difficult to understand? That's why maybe we need someone to try to put it into normal layman's terms. That's where I come in. Now, let's take a look at some of the headlines coming up. We're doing a good job so far. Approval of the EU has reached its lowest point due to European Union citizens feeling underrepresented and disenfranchised by the decision-making process in Brussels. Now that Brussels has responded with a continent-wide election, giving EU citizens more of a voice than ever before, the European Union responded, yeah. But when's the World Cup? The EU elections are scheduled for the 22nd to the 25th of May. That's the World Cup. Excellent. Moving on. We're doing well. The EU elections are scheduled for the 22nd to the 25th of May, a date which was already moved earlier on the calendar. Why? To make way for a very important holiday in Europe, Pentecost. Yes, it's official. The European Union is now less relevant in Europe than Christianity. The first ever live debate between the main politicians who, the first ever live debate between the main politicians who represent the main coalitions in the EU Parliament who hope to nominate the new president of the EU Commission took place last week or in April. With an unprecedented amount of attention and ad campaigns and even social media, a majority of Europeans said, oh yeah, who's in charge of Europe? You basically mean this woman, right? We nailed it! All right. Upon hearing that there will be a major European voting contest in the month of May, most Europeans you talk to are assuming you're just talking to you're talking about the Eurovision Song Contest. Yes, the Eurovision Song Contest. Well, by that logic, the new leader of Europe will be either Azerbaijan, Ukraine, or maybe just Russia. To which Russia replied, yes, pretty soon. Yeah, that's about right. Well, folks, that's why we do this. We are trying to make the European Union palatable for most Europeans. And to do that, I hope you will join me on this new weekly adventure. Our guest is coming up next, and the guest is someone like me, a normal American guy living in Europe and wondering what the hell is going on. I'll bring him in. He's also the host of What's Up Amsterdam. Nathan Titor, I'll bring him in just a moment after this short message.
Hi, I'm Nate from the What's Up Amsterdam TV show on Salto 1. Join us every Monday at 6 p.m. where we're going to talk to the city's best comedians, musicians, bloggers, restaurateurs, about all the great stuff that makes Amsterdam awesome. So join me, Nate Titor, every Monday night at 6 p.m. on Salto 1 for What's Up Amsterdam TV. What's Up Amsterdam? Anything good is right here. Ah, shit, my burgers!
As promised, Nathan Titor here in the studio, and I'm figuring this out as we go. It's science, it's TV. So here we are. Look at that!
That's what we look like on television.
Awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
I do like that. You know what's in the background?
The European Parliament?
Exactly. So it's a bunch of flags. It's like the United Nations of Europe, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of flags. Anyway, all right, so cool. What am I going to do? I'm going to move around here.
Yeah, come on over. Come on over. Hang on the side.
Nathan Titor, welcome to the show. And
it's tighter.
I know, I keep saying Titor because, like...
You really enunciate the,
I know,
the extra T.
If you say tighter, then, yeah, okay. Anyway, Mr. It sounds more like an evil supervillain, which is...
Titor.
Yeah, that's how you figure it. But anyway, so thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Thanks for... No, really, you're the backbone of this show so far. Nathan is not only the host of What's Up Amsterdam, but yeah, you started out as a podcast, now you're doing the TV show, and you are an interested and integrated EU citizen in the making, I guess.
I'm giving it my best shot, I'll tell you that.
Because, I mean, before moving to Amsterdam, where were you living?
I live in Bavaria.
Bavaria.
Yeah, I live in southern Germany, south central.
I thought most people just say, you know, Germany.
No. When you live in Bavaria, there's a Bavarian pride that goes with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so where did you live before that?
Portland, Oregon, West Coast.
Exactly.
So, and then before that, grew up in Wisconsin. So I came from. It's been pretty democratic my whole life.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you got a political bent already.
A little bit.
But also you've got a lot of experience. You know, traveling all over. You're dealing with video stuff as well.
Sure.
So yeah. In fact, some of the basics. That's what we're going to try to talk about today.
All right. Excellent.
And you know, okay. Now. This whole EU experiment, to me, was just... I learned about the EU as an alternative to constant warring after World War II.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
And, you know, it started as this little trading group, but it, you know, grew bigger and bigger. And sure, there are pluses and minuses, but it seems like it's a pretty good alternative to what we had. And as an American, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world for a sort of counterbalance to the American superpower.
I can absolutely agree with that.
Kind of speaks the same, you know, has the same values. So, yeah, I'm ready for the EU to start punching its weight.
Sure.
And anyway, yeah, so that's my personal bias. Yeah, what are some things, like you have a soapbox as well. Like what's...
One of the segments that you have on this show is that everyone that gets to come in can bring up a little soapbox idea and go at it.
Yes.
Okay. I was reading the news this morning.
Yes.
I came across a piece that apparently there is a cleaning strike on Dutch trains.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
They're dirty.
Yeah, it said that the trash is piling up. But there's a dispute over wages and conditions.
Yeah.
Now, please dispute your wages every chance you get.
Yes.
If you're a worker, dispute your wages all you possibly can. But you cannot be mad at the conditions when you clean garbage for a living.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
when the title of your job
has trash in it.
Yeah.
You know, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
What they said is that people are taking to Twitter to complain about the trash on the trains.
Right.
Which to me is like an old woman yelling out of an apartment building in New York City in the 1950s.
Sure.
It's the most worthless thing that you can do for people that just want to complain.
And these guys are blaming NS, the train service,
NS
in the Netherlands.
And the fact is that NS has nothing to do with this negotiating.
Really?
Which is weird. That's a little bit like, to me, that's not having the train company negotiating their workers is a little bit like if you wanted to go out in high school and your mom's saying, ask the neighbors. You know? And the neighbors are going to say, I don't give a damn.
Right,
like, who cares?
And I think you mentioned something earlier as well. Like, hey, if you're going to complain, if you're going to take the energy to send a tweet about garbage piling up, you could
take some with you. if you brought it, take it with you and take an extra piece. It just makes sense. But did you... I'm sorry,
No, please. I mean, we'll get to, I'm feeling out the timing as we go.
I'm soapboxing here. I'm soapboxing. I got some shit to say.
Please, go further.
So, you know what the workers want? You know what they want?
Yeah.
They want an extra 50 cents an hour
really?
and 2 days of paid sick leave.
Don't they have that already? Or 2 extra days or whatever?
They want the first 2 days of their sick leave to be paid.
They don't have that?
Well, they want more. They want a little bit more. Come on. Like, that doesn't seem to be so much to ask.
Yeah.
Especially considering only a third of the people that clean the trains work full time.
Oh, yeah.
And a full 69% of the people that clean the trains are living under the poverty level.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. 50 cents.
Yeah.
50 cents in 2 days paid does not seem like...
Yeah, right. It seems a bit inhumane. I mean, okay, I'm going to come out there and try to pigeonhole your soapbox rant.
Please.
Into something like social, sort of like socialistic, maybe labor-friendly.
I am a little labor-friendly,
okay, well, at least right now, I mean, that comes into exactly the big debate that's going on in Europe, as I understand it. So, now, hold on, before I switch gears, do we need to go to another short break, or we'll just I'm just talking to you guys? Yeah, you're good. Okay, well, good.
Okay, cool.
So, all right, we have a bit of a news quiz.
You're gonna ask me questions about the news?
Not even. I'm actually just gonna say, like, pick a number, any number. What I was
gonna act like one of those goats that just passes out when they're scared.
No, that's the thing. Like, here, I've been trying to do some research here.
Yeah,
okay,
I can see that. You're
and
like a
I've
hobo.
been getting. Yeah, I know. I come in with a bunch of JPEGs for television. No, just a bunch of old newspaper clippings. But it's true. I get a subscription to the International Herald Tribune, which is now the International New York Times, and there is just a good piece about here the race for the top job in Europe hits the road. Now, you may have heard about some of the candidates coming up. You get the far right populist parties. There are also some far left who, like disenchantment with the whole EU. But it actually is a lot like the European system because, according to this article, the race for the top job in Europe hits the road. You got this guy, Jean-Claude Juncker.
All right.
Who is from the basically Christian Democrats in the Netherlands, like it's a European People's Party. And then on the other side, you've got Martin Schulz. Martin Schulz, who is the current, head of the, president of the European Parliament. And he is running for another block of parties from representing the socialists.
All right.
So, I mean, yeah, if you're voting on voting in the European elections, I guess that's kind of how it breaks down. Anyway, did you expect that the EU system is anything like the American political system, or totally different and weird?
It seems that it's a little bit more logical with the way that it runs, considering that you're taking so many groups of people that are from so many different cultures, from so far away from the equator to so close to the equator, and trying to have them all be led by one person, or at least have that person have a little bit more power than has ever happened before in the history of the civilized world. And it's a lot to ask for one person. It's a lot to ask for one person, and it's a lot to ask for one political party. So I am glad that it gets broken up into as many parties as it does.
In fact, I was just doing
the buck has to stop somewhere. Is what it comes down to. So
apparently it's going to be basically one of these two guys, either Juncker, who used to be the Prime Minister of Luxembourg, not the biggest EU country. It's sort of like, I was governor of Rhode Island.
Yeah, but they've kept that son of a bitch running for a long time without a lot of problems.
There you go.
That's the Rolls Royce of countries.
They're doing pretty well. Très bien. And he also was the head of the Euro group, I guess. So he was in charge of a lot of the austerity that has come through recently. So if you're talking about those train, the strike of the train cleaners in the Netherlands, that's exactly the kind of issue I think that it's going to come down to. More austerity or more, socialist-friendly, labor-friendly, hopefully, maybe job-creating.
We can hope.
That's my bias already out there.
But it is two old white guys, though, right?
It's basically two old white guys.
Okay, so it's just like America. It's just like every other country.
Go. So it is. It's more like America than you might think. How are we doing over there? I'm ready to go to a short break, and we'll be back with Nathan Titer right after this. And And we're back. Broadcast Amsterdam is bringing this whole thing to you, and boy, they've got a number. Every time you look, there's another program. So well done. But we're talking with Nathan Titer about the EU and why does it matter. Here's a piece I just clipped from today's paper, and it's why Germans love Russia.
I'm surprised. I'll bite.
It's a German guy who's writing about how a lot of Germans. Are former Eastern Germans, sure. Basically. Okay. I mean, they were kind of part of the Soviet bloc for a while. So he's saying that maybe there's still a little crossover there, and it's hard for Germany as a whole, and Angela Merkel even, to step up and say, we hate you, Russia, because there are a lot of people that are kind of like east of Ukraine, apparently.
They might have some sort of history with Russia, but they're not defecting back. They're still staying in Germany.
And yet this guy argues that there's the reason that there's not such an outrage in Germany is because of this pro-Russia infiltration of the propaganda in the media. And I thought, that's crazy. But then in the same edition of the New York Times is this insert an advertising supplement, Russia Beyond the Headlines. And it's basically all about how, look how much of our energy you need.
Yeah,
and here's why we should start drilling in the Arctic. And it's interesting, too. Did you read just last Friday about how Greenpeace said, there's the first shipment of oil from Russian waters in the Arctic. Mm-hmm. And I mean, between Shell and Russians, Greenpeace is do not drill for oil in the Arctic. What did Greenpeace do? Greenpeace, based in Amsterdam, they sent a ship to block the tanker of Russian oil coming into the port at Rotterdam.
Okay.
So the Dutch government, who are very busy talking about sanctions and blocking the Russians, what did they do? They blocked the Greenpeace boat.
Well, there's a lot of money sitting on that boat, and the Greenpeace guys are just kind of in the way right now.
Isn't that the funny thing? Yeah, there's a lot of talk going on, but when there's money to be made.
Yeah. I mean, did they fill out their paperwork? If Greenpeace had filled out their paperwork, maybe then we could talk. But if you don't, no paperwork, I can't help you right now. That
maybe
sucks.
Are there still a couple Greenpeace people in Russian custody somewhere? I mean, they must.
I would almost guarantee it.
Yeah,
I would almost guarantee it.
That whole Arctic sunrise thing not so long ago. But,
right.
Anyway, all right. Meanwhile, what else do you want to talk about? You pick one, and I'll let's see. Oh my God, are we almost out of time?
I like that one.
Which one? Oh,
this one on the top. Let's talk about this one.
That's the one. Dutch police halt sea protest by Greenpeace over Arctic oil. But we can also even talk about botched Oklahoma execution revolts Europeans.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
The guy who did that was a rapist murderer.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool if I just say F him? I mean, that guy's never going to cure cancer.
And there's the American perspective.
I'm sorry that the guy they were trying to kill died not well.
Yeah,
but he raped and murdered someone.
I mean, apparently it was proven beyond a shadow of a doubt and whatever. I know. Well, whatever you think of the whole system, the death penalty system in America, it's not just that the EU opposes is trying to come up with alternatives or whatever. But I mean, there's now, I think, from the EU Commission, and this is, again, why EU is kind of relevant, that they are saying European-owned pharmaceutical companies are now let's not have you sell those toxic, lethal cocktails. So, in fact, the reason that the execution in Oklahoma may have been botched is because AstraZeneca or whatever,
whatever the drug is,
big pharma in Europe, they're not allowed to sell their stuff anymore, so they're improvising in Oklahoma.
See, and that's awesome. If you want to stop it, if you want to stop the U.S. from being able to kill people, that's what you have to do.
Exactly. We got to wrap it up here. There's clearly more to talk about. Thank you to Broadcast Amsterdam, and okay. Now I'm going to one more break. What am I doing? No, we gotta wrap it up. Anyway, thank you to Nathan Titer.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Exactly. Nathan, you're great. And watch What's Up Amsterdam. Thank you, folks. If you have ideas, comments, or whatever for who else to have, then we'll see you next week. Thanks.